it's your favorite time of the week. Flight Zone is ready to take off and switch gears from basketball talk. We have baseball, golf, wrestling, and as always, E-Town athletics. So let's get right into it and take off. We have one of Philly's biggest baseball fans, since we all know her as she's obsessed with the Jags. Gwen, would you like to give us a Philly special for the week?
Sure. I mean, we'll start with the Jags, of course, because they just did their mock draft and it's looking pretty good. They want to get Notre Dame running back Jerry Price with their second-round pick because they don't have their first-round pick. They traded it up to get Travis Hunter last year, which, hot take, I still think is a great pick. But back to baseball. So they are currently, I'm going to try and pull it up, they are currently up 12-2 against the Cubs at the top of the 7th. I'm not even going to go over all of the scores just because that is too many. But we can also look at their last run against the Diamondbacks where they had 2 losses and 1 win. And all the games were within 1. So it was like a 5-4 loss, a 4-3 win, and a 4-3 loss. In the 4-3 win, we saw Kyle Schwarber have a home run, and then both Alec Bohm and Justin Crawford scored off of it, putting them up 3-2 since they were down until the bottom of the 3rd. And then Bryce Harper homered to center, who is the jersey I'm wearing. My dad dropped it off today for this special video, so shout out my dad. And then they just kind of kept the score from there as well in the close game that they lost on Sunday. They lost 3-4 to the Diamondbacks. We didn't see much action from really anyone until the 6th inning. Bottom of the 6th, Trey Turner homered, and then Justin Crawford also scored, and then Bryce Harper doubled to the right, and Kyle Schwarber scored. So now they sit at 7-8. They're really close to getting to that 500 level. I'm not too worried about it because I feel like the years when they make history and they're the first team, I think they were the first team to hit 90 wins the one year. They choked pretty early in the playoffs, so I'm not super worried about that. The National East is not really, other than the Braves, they're all pretty similar, like 8-8, 7-8, 6-9, so it's pretty close. And the Rangers are also doing well. They're 8-7, and then my mom is a Red Sox fan, and they're doing really bad. They're 6-9, so kind of a little baseball update there.
Perfect. Well, I know you just said your mom's team lost, but I mean the Phillies are doing well. So speaking about winners, let's talk about a back-to-back winner, or more should I say, a champion. Rory McIlroy is the champion of the Masters for the 2nd year in a row. He has nearly 115 million earnings, second to Tiger Woods, which is one of the greats.
He's currently struggling
and
right
in
now.
a DUI as well, but that's a different thing.
He has lots of those, so that's good.
Yes. And he is in the debate of all-time greats as well. And he quoted that this past year he felt more relaxed and more focused on his routines. And I'm not that much of a golfer. I mean, I go occasionally, but just to put on a cute outfit. But I mean, I think winning, yeah. But I think winning the Masters back-to-back is a pretty epic and monumental,
pretty amazing.
like sports history.
First person to do it since Tiger Woods.
Just one of 4 people all time. Everyone else who's done it all time great. Rory has had a history of choking in some of the biggest moments in his career. I feel like last year when he did win his first Masters, maybe that was him finally getting rid of all his mess ups, all of his past blemishes, and now he's really playing the best golf of his career. I think it's only upward from here. I don't know if I'd say he's quite yet on the level of Tiger Woods, Phil Mickelson, Jack Nicklaus, but he's certainly getting up there.
He's in the conversation.
Oh, yeah. Back-to-back Masters will put you there regardless of what your name is. So I'm very impressed. Not a huge golf fan myself, but Masters is always fun to tune in.
I like seeing the outfits
that
all the people wear.
Yes, for sure.
And I like seeing who was it? It was either Rory's kid or Scotty Scheffler's kid in the par 3 contest. One of them has a little daughter, and she hit it, and it was so cute. Like, I love the little side things they do, that it's not just golf. Like, it's not just we're here to see the main show. It's like they have fun little other
it's
things
very
too.
family oriented as well.
Yes.
Yeah, I would say.
Yeah.
I think it's cool. I think it's definitely history was made by him, and congratulations, I guess.
Shout out to Scotty Scheffler. I think he gave him a good run for his money in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah. Alrighty. Well, instead of talking about a champion on the green, let's talk about the ring. Up next, we have Sal with a WWE announcement.
Hello everyone, and welcome to the very first WWE segment for Flight Zone. Now, if you're a WWE fan like myself, this is a very big week for you. It's WrestleMania week. It's the biggest show of the year this weekend in Las Vegas, Nevada, and I am excited for it. I would not say it's the best card that we've had in years, but either way, there's a lot of good matches, some bad matches, so let's get into it. Now, opening the show on night one is going to be Jacob Fatu versus Drew McIntyre in a clash of heavyweights. These two guys hate each other, and there's a lot of bad blood between them that is going to be coming out into the ring, I think, on Saturday. I think there's going to be a lot of gore, maybe some weapons involved. I think that it's going to be a bruiserweight match, you could say. I think that in the end, neither of these two men really should be taking a loss where they currently are, because me personally, I think that Drew McIntyre should be walking into WrestleMania as the WWE champion. He had a short reign, and he deserved more, and the fans were really getting behind him. They were so happy when he won, and then they took it away just to give it back to Cody. Now, initially, I was disappointed that he was going to be feuding with Jacob Fatu for WrestleMania, but their build-up the past couple weeks, I think, has been really good. We really get the feeling that these two guys just can't stand each other, that they want to actually kill the other guy. And I'm excited for the match. It's gonna be a slaughter. I do think that Jacob Fatu is gonna win. I think that they have big plans for him, and WWE is notorious for maybe not giving Drew McIntyre the push he deserves. So as much as I want Drew to win this one, I'm gonna go with Fatu. But either way, I think it's gonna be a good match, a great way to open the weekend. Now, after that, a match I'm a little less excited for. It's LA Knight and the Usos against the team of Austin Theory, Logan Paul, and to a surprise to me, IShowSpeed, the streamer. I guess this is the approach that WWE and TKO have decided to take in recent years, where they focus on more of the clicks and the views rather than the actual content that's being produced. And we'll get to that later because I have more to say about that. But as far as this match goes, I am underwhelmed. I mean, the build has been better than what I expected. IShowSpeed is clearly dedicated and interested and committed to WWE, but I am not a fan of all these celebrities. Now, Logan Paul's different because he actually is a full-time wrestler for the most part. Either way, I think that the team of IShowSpeed, Logan Paul, and Austin Theory are going to get the win. Paul and Theory are currently the tag team champions over on Monday Night Raw, and I think that this could potentially lead to an Usos heel turn, whether or not that aligns with them with Roman Reigns in the future. But I think that they're going to give the celebrity victory here to IShowSpeed so that they can, post online, get the views. That's going to get a lot more views than if he loses. I could be wrong. They could go with the Usos and LA Knight, but personally, I think that IShowSpeed is a big a piece moving forward in WWE. I hope not, but I think that he's going to get the win here. After that, we have another tag team match. It's the women's Fatal 4-Way for the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships. Team of Nia Jax and Lash Legend going up against Charlotte and Alexa, Bayley and Lyra, and the Bella Twins, who are making their WrestleMania return after years away. Now, I don't have a clear winner in this one. If I had to pick, I would go with Charlotte and Alexa just because they have good chemistry and they are inevitably going to break up at some point, but it would be nice to see them as champions one last time before that happens. I will say, though, do not be surprised if the Bella Twins win. Now, obviously, there's been a lot of turmoil in the tag team division for the women, and, who better than a big name like the Bella Twins, which we know WWE loves to have their big names. I could see them getting a brief reign, getting their WrestleMania moment, and having a short but, effective reign as tag champions before a younger team wins. Personally, I don't think that the champions, Nia and Lash, are going to retain. If I had to pick, it'd be Charlotte and Alexa. Either way, I'm looking forward to this match. Unlike the next match on the card, AJ Lee versus Becky Lynch. Now, this has been, one of my least anticipated matches for WrestleMania. It's a feud that's been on and off since September, ever since AJ Lee returned, and overall, I think AJ Lee's return has been disappointing. Yes, she's a part-timer, but that's not all the reason why. I still like Roman, I still like Brock. They're part-timers, they do a good job. I like the Bella Twins, and they're somewhat part-timers. AJ has this feud with Becky hasn't hit. Now, respectively, they're two of the biggest female wrestlers of all time, complete trailblazers, but they just don't have the chemistry like you would have expected. AJ is roughly 10 years removed from the last time she was in the ring. It just isn't working with Becky.
Becky's heel turn this time just hasn't been as good. It feels so forced. I think AJ Lee's going to retain, and I hope that this is their final meeting. I hope AJ Lee moves on to Roxanne Perez, to Jordynne Grace, someone younger who can take the belt off her, maybe even Maxine Dupree. But either way, not looking forward to this match. I think AJ Lee does retain in a decent fight. After that, we have Seth Rollins versus Gunther in a match that at most WrestleManias would have been, I think this is potentially a main event at a different WrestleMania. Due to some of the injuries that we happened, this match was just kind of thrown together last minute. Two guys that we didn't really know what their plan was going to be for WrestleMania. It's a short build, but it's effective. I think it's going to be a good match. This is another case where I don't think either guy is at a point in their career right now where they can afford a loss. Gunther is coming off of just retiring John Cena. He just retired AJ Styles. And before that, he retired Goldberg. 3 huge names in WWE. All their careers came to an end at the hands of Gunther. So for him to lose at this WrestleMania, I don't think that's a good idea. But also, Seth is just coming back from his injury and coming off having to relinquish the World Heavyweight Championship. So what I think is going to happen is that Braun Breaker is going to return from injury, interfere in the match. I think he's going to cost it for Seth, and that's going to set up their feud. That will probably lead into SummerSlam. Now, who takes that match? That's a time and a different place. That's too much to think about now. But in this WrestleMania between Gunther and Rollins, I'm going Gunther. Still on night 1, after that is going to be Stephanie Van Quer, the women's World Heavyweight Champion, taking on Liv Morgan, who won the Royal Rumble match this year. I am actually very, very much looking forward to this match. I think it's going to be great. I was initially looking forward to Jade and Rhea more, but Liv and Stephanie have done a good job. There is that feeling of genuine hatred between them. I don't think there actually is, but they're portraying it well on screen. Now, Stephanie, I do like her. But unfortunately, I don't think she's had the best title reign. It's been, I believe, since September-ish, since she won it. Hasn't been a ton of memorable moments. I know she was injured for part of it, but for the most part, it's been somewhat lackluster, and I blame the booking because they had her working with Nikki Bella for such a long time, who should not have been there. She should have been fighting other people. Not her fault. Overall, I just don't think the reign was great, but Liv Morgan is a very good candidate to take the belt off her. Liv has not been champion for, I believe, 2-ish years now. I guess a little over 1, actually. But either way, Liv is always entertaining, especially as champion. And then there's the whole Judgment Day storyline that can come in with that. Obviously, Raquel has challenged a lot. We could see a Raquel face turn if Liv wins. But I do think this is going to be a decent match. Stephanie, obviously a great wrestler. Liv always rises to the occasion when it matters. Very looking forward to this one. I think Liv's going to take it. Now, for the main event of night 1 of WrestleMania, Randy Orton versus Cody Rhodes. Now, if you don't know me, I hate Cody Rhodes. I really do. Probably my least favorite wrestler in all of WWE. So boring, repetitive, just same thing week after week. I was so mad when he beat Drew McIntyre for the WWE Championship because Drew deserved to be here, not Cody. Anyway, I am very, very, very upset with how they've built this story. And that is basically a unanimous consensus along with all wrestling fans across the world. You have Randy Orton and Cody Rhodes. That alone is a 20-year history between the two. No outside involvement was needed. WWE decides to make the call, let's get Pat McAfee involved, a guy who has no connection. I like Pat McAfee. I like his show. I watch it every now and then, and I didn't mind him as a commentator for the most part. Literally zero reason why he needs to be involved in this match. He doesn't bring anything to the table. He's got no real history with the guys, and for some reason now he's bigger than Randy in this feud. Him and the Pat versus Cody has kind of taken over Randy versus Cody. And to make matters even worse, they bring in Jelly Roll, a guy nobody cares about. I mean, I maybe older people do. I don't know. My demographic, I don't know any Jelly Roll fans. He's not someone who's going to move. He's not going to move the needle, sell tickets, because I know that's what they're struggling to do right now. Jelly Roll is not that guy. Another guy who also has no connection to the story. He's a celebrity. He's a random country singer. And they're putting him in one of the biggest wrestling matches of the year for no reason. It's outrageous. I'm so disappointed. I don't know if I'm even going to watch the match. I might turn it off before that. I honestly might. And I'm not just saying that to be dramatic. I am serious. Because I'm so disappointed. The only silver lining is that I think Randy's going to win, But then with that, it's going to lead to a tag team match between Randy and Pat versus Cody and Jelly Roll, and I don't want to see that either. So I'm disgusted by this. I really am. That's going to end night 1. Moving on to night 2, we have a match that I'm actually very excited for that's going to open the show. Brock Lesnar versus Obafemi. Two of the biggest powerhouses in WWE history. Old generation, new generation. I think Obafemi's going to take it. I know there's talk that since it's on ESPN, they're going to have Brock win, but I think Brock's going to put Oba over. Oba is the future of this business, just an absolute behemoth, and it's just crazy that we're getting this. Years ago, I would have thought this would have never happened, just with Brock's situation being out of the company, but he's back. This is a dream match. I'm going to go with Oba, but anything could happen. Now, after that, we have the Intercontinental Championship ladder match between Penta, JD McDonough, Dragon Lee, Rusev, Javon Evans, and a returning Rey Mysterio, who is pushing 60 years old. It's incredible. But I do think that this is Penta's moment, and I think it should be. He's entering WrestleMania as the champion, and it's, I think, very important for him to enter that next level of superstar for him to retain here as well in a ladder match. This is going to be great. A lot of high flyers in this match. There's going to be some great ladder spots, I think, some with a table. I'm very excited to see what Javon Evans does. Obviously, he's very bouncy, as he tells us, but I'm really excited that Rusev is in this match too. He hasn't had the year that he's wanted to since he's returned, but this could be something that gets him back in. I don't think he's going to win. I think it's going to be Penta. Either way, it's going to be a fun, spectacular match. Now, moving on from that, we have the other mid-card championship, the U.S. title. That's going to be Sami Zayn, who's entering as champion, against Trick Williams. Now, like most people, I was very upset that Sami won. He beat Carmelo Hayes, who deserved a spot on WrestleMania. And I think there should be a triple threat with Carmelo Hayes. But it's whatever. Sami did his thing, and he's champion going up against Trick Williams. The most interesting part about this match is the lead-up. Sami Zayn is now being booed because fans are so tired of him as a babyface. And I'm one of them. And I've said this for a while. He's stale. It's the same thing week after week. I don't need to see him as U.S. champ. I really hope Trick wins this. Trick's a heel, but the crowd loves him. They cheer for him every week when his music hits. He's phenomenal. In his in-ring, he's getting there. He's certainly improved. But on the mic, he's great. He's got charisma. He's got aura. He's got the look. He's a future world champion. And beating Sami Zayn at WrestleMania is just, a stepping stone to that. Now, moving on, we have Dominic Mysterio versus Finn Balor in a match that is years in the making. The two former friends and members of Judgment Day finally split up. And this match, I am looking forward to it. I was disappointed that they spoiled that Finn Balor would be returning as the Demon, but I still think it's going to be good. I think Dominic has been over-pushed the past year. His Intercontinental Championship reigns both fell flat, in my opinion, besides a couple of good moments. I think that Finn Balor deserves this. He's finally face again. He finally needs to be pushed into the World Heavyweight Championship scene. I think he could be a guy to win it in the next year or two. Now, beating Dominic Mysterio here is important. I know WWE sees Dom as a future World Heavyweight Champion, and they see a lot in him, but he's young. Finn's over 40. His time is now. He's got to do it now. Starts with beating Dominic and, reestablishing himself as the babyface, the Demon Finn Balor that never should have left in the first place. Now, we have 2 matches left. Rhea Ripley versus Jade Cargill. One that I was very looking forward to at the start of the feud that kind of fizzled out for me. There was obviously all the online heat between the two, taking shots at each other, other superstars get involved, and from what we know, it was real. They actually were upset with each other and, for a lack of a better words, hated each other. Now, when it went on screen, you couldn't tell that at all. It felt very generic, like a typical feud, babyface heel. I haven't loved the Io Sky stuff being involved, mostly because she should be at WrestleMania. She should have a match. She had a great moment last year, and it's ridiculous they couldn't find a spot for her. But besides that, the Rhea versus Jade has just turned into a generic feud. I don't think the match is going to be great just because Rhea is somebody who matches the level of her opponents. Jade obviously is not the best technical wrestler. Most of her matches are shorter. She's a powerhouse. But I think this will be a shorter match. I could see either one winning, but I think it's going to be Rhea. That way they can have Liv as the champ on Raw, Rhea the champ on SmackDown. Jade's reign has been mediocre to not much so far. Not her fault, again. I blame the booking. But I think Rhea's going to win this one. Now, the main event of night 2. Roman Reigns versus CM Punk. 2 icons squaring off in the real main event of WrestleMania 42. My heart wants Roman, but my brain unfortunately says CM Punk. And as you can tell, I'm not a CM Punk fan. I think he's very repetitive, very hypocritical, and obnoxious. He has a huge ego, as we've seen over the years. But personality side, I just don't think he's super entertaining. He just kind of says the same thing. I'm the best in the world. It's clobbering time. Stuff like that. And it's just kind of stale for me. I'm ready for Roman to take the belt back, but unfortunately, I don't think they will, just because Roman isn't necessarily a full-timer. Me personally, I'd rather see Roman part-time than CM Punk full-time, but I just have a bad feeling in my stomach that CM Punk's going to win. Whether or not there's interference, I really hope not. I wouldn't be surprised. But unfortunately, I think CM Punk is going to end WrestleMania standing victorious in the middle of the ring over Roman Reigns. I hope it doesn't happen, but that's what I think is going to happen. Now, before I wrap up real quick, I just want to give a quick message to WWE and TKO. Listen, we are all, listen. I can hear you guys in the back. I'm almost done. So, WWE is clearly at a bad point right now, okay? Ticket sales are at an all-time low for WrestleMania, and they are not doing what they need to do to actually bring the fans in. They're bringing in, they're going for the shareholders rather than the actual fans, bringing what they think is going to, sell tickets, like celebrities, concerts, stuff like that. We don't care. We just want good product. We want good content, good matches, and we're not getting that. This is WrestleMania, and we should be so excited, but personally, I'm not. I hope that, I would say that I think WrestleMania 43 is going to be better, but I don't. It's in Saudi Arabia. It's going to start at 2 p.m. over here, and I'm sure it's just going to be, another money fest. What can we do to sell the most tickets? So I think this should be a turning point in WWE and TKO, that they got to figure out their stuff and improve the quality of wrestling. We are the leaders in professional wrestling, and we have to act like it. All right, that is it for the WWE segment. I hope you enjoy WrestleMania if you watch. Now, back to Ella in the studio.
Thanks, Sal. Switching matches from the ropes to the fences. Up next, we have fights with Frailey.
All right, welcome back, y'all. It's time for some real fight talk. And, guys, Yuri lost. I know I was really hyping him up, and it was devastating. First round KO by Carlos Ulberg. To break it down, I'm so devastated about this. But, okay, so it looked like Yuri was winning. It was still competitive, some leg kicks back and forth, but, Yuri had thrown some punches that looked really good. And then further into the first round, Carlos was backing up, and he stepped back, and he, blew out his knee. That's what he said in the post-fight interview. But it looked like something tore in his calf, bad. And so continuing the round after that, he's slipping, he can't stand on it, he fell down a couple times, and you see Yuri be in his face, oh, this isn't the way I wanted to win. And while that was happening, Carlos throws a perfect left hook, knocks him out. He goes down to the ground, and then he tries to survive for a bit, and then just ground and pound by Carlos Ulberg, and it's over. He's done. Good for Carlos, but not good for all the Yuri fans like me, and also Yuri. I think he was just having a baby born. Yeah, baby born as well, so that's at least some good for him. But I see this as one of his that was his last shot to get the title back, and because now he's probably going to have to fight Magomed. Magomed is really good. We don't know what's going to happen with Yuri's career. He might get a rematch. He asked for one, but I don't think Dana's going to give it to him. But yeah, that was a tragedy. Moving on to Paulo Costa versus Azamat Murzakanov. That was a great fight. Went all 3 rounds. Costa got the knockout in the end. He looked massive at light heavyweight. It was insane. His speed was still there. He was way outskilled Azamat on the feet. It was really the kicks that won him this fight. He threw a couple really good head kicks that did a lot of damage, and that's what won him the fight. He knocked out Azamat, and one of those kicks in the end hit his arm, and I think he might have broken Azamat's arm, and then after that he threw another kick, and Osmont was just done. Like, he couldn't fight anymore. He went down to the ground, and it was like, all right, well, I'm not sad about that. It was a great fight, but yeah. The other really good fight on this card that blew everybody's socks off, it's a good analogy, Josh Hockett versus Curtis Blades was an amazing fight. Greatest heavyweight fight of all time, one of the best UFC fights of all time, and it was just a constant slugfest. Like, Josh was talking a lot of crap going into the fight, and he just kept that energy. Like, during the fight, he's flipping him off. Like, after throwing some combinations, flips him off. After taking some punches back, flips him off. And I think that was really getting in Curtis Blades' head. But it was, even the announcer or the commentators, they're going crazy. The entire stadium's going crazy. It was just, for 15 minutes at heavyweight, which is, you know, they're bigger. They got a lot more muscle. They got a lot more of a body to move around. So, you know, they gas out. But, like, from round 1 to the third round, it went to decision, and it went in Josh Hockett's, he won. And as a complete underdog, too, like, he was going to that fight unranked, and Curtis Blades is ranked number 5 at heavyweight. So, amazing performance by both of them. Like, it was competitive, but, you know, there were some shots that Josh Hockett was throwing that just really wobbled Curtis Blades and was, you know, making him lose his legs, which it was wonderful. One of the best fights I've ever seen, for sure. And then also, after that fight, Derek Lewis was asked if he wanted to be on the White House card, and then Josh Hockett got that fight. Josh Hockett versus Derek Lewis will be added to the White House card, which we're all really excited for. We wanted more fights on that card. And now we're getting it. And looking at his performance in this fight against Curtis Blades, like, how can we not be excited for this? Everybody's excited for it. And we're going to have a really good summer for UFC. That's all I have for this week. And back to you, Ella.
Thank you so much for tuning in for this week's matchups. As always, stay in the zone.